Energy Matters provides adaptable and user-friendly educational materials that will make learning about topics like climate change and energy saving a blast. We give children and their families tools to cut energy use, save money, and tackle climate change. Climate change and energy can be tricky concepts to engage young people in. In this video, we will provide some tips to help you teach and engage your students on these topics. With a subject as heavy as climate change, it can be hard to strike a balance between showing the devastating impact it's having on our planet, whilst remaining hopeful for the future. We know we need to prepare young people for the future they will inherit, which will inevitably be impacted by climate change. On top of this, we're seeing a rise in climate anxiety amongst young people. There is no doubt that the topic of climate change needs to be taught in schools. However, it should be addressed carefully so that we can empower young people and not feed into feelings of fear, guilt, and anxiety that children are often reporting. Here are some tips for tackling climate anxiety. Situate young people at the centre of shaping the planet's future. Highlight the types of jobs that can have an impact, remembering that environmental or sustainability goes far beyond the traditional jobs like renewable energy engineer or conservationist. The World Economic Forum have said that 65% of future jobs do not exist yet. An example of something you could do is have a green career day, where you get people from all walks of life and sectors to showcase what they're doing in their careers and how they're using and promoting sustainable and climate-friendly practices in their work. Share stories and images of children and climate solutions, and balance negatives with messages of hope and love to counteract the doom and gloom imagery we see in the mainstream media. Acknowledge anxiety and emotions, and support children to channel this into agency. Develop activities and projects that young people can physically get involved in to channel their anxiety into practical action. Climate change and sustainability is being taught in schools already, with a strong focus on the popular topics like food production and food waste, single-use plastics and biodiversity. Energy does not get as much attention. However, energy is used in everyone's daily life, and it is a huge contributor to climate change. Raising awareness about energy is not only important in the context of climate education, but also to prepare young people for their adult life, in terms of understanding how energy works in the home, household expenses, and budgeting. It's important to be aware of the different living situations children might be coming from. Some families might be in fuel poverty and might already not be using a lot of energy. By teaching about energy and running activities, you might identify some children who might be living in fuel poverty. Be prepared to provide some helpful resources and signpost children's families to where they could get further support if needed. Teaching about climate change and energy can link to several different topic areas. For example, teaching about what energy is, its different types, and how it's made can link to science. Teaching about the world and the impacts of climate change on people and nature can link to geography. Activities around calculating, monitoring, and plotting energy use can link to maths. Making renewable energy models or energy-saving campaign materials can link to art and design. And finally, teaching about how we use energy in our lives and at home, energy bills and fuel poverty can link to personal, social, and health education. The Energy Matters education materials supports educators to run games and activities that makes learning about these topics fun and empowering for young people. Here are some examples. The blanket game. This is a fun, visual way of showing the effects of greenhouse gases by using a volunteer and lots of blankets. What uses what? This is a quick little game that gets students to rank how much energy different everyday appliances use. Climate solutions mapping. This activity gets students to map their local area and where different climate solutions could go, from tree planting to electric vehicle charging points and solar panels.